social connection. So if they ever was in need, more, you know, you had better connections. So like say you needed resources, you need food, you need water, whatever the case may be, having more wife, you got more family to connect with, more social networks. And then also too, it said men tended to marry more because with more women, you had, you know, it's more help for the man.
More help for the man.
And more people were, you know, basically married versus over here. I looked it up. Half of the U.S. population is considered single. You know,
See what I'm saying?
it was between 42 to 49%, depending on what factors. But that's basically half of the U.S. percentage is considered single. And I think that was a study in 2024. So it's probably over half now. But the point I'm trying to make, going into China at one point had where you only had one child per household, which is wicked. How can you control what another person produce? That's extremely wicked.
Yeah.
Then then they went up to 2 because they was worried about population.
Yeah.
But their population was dying more than they were being born, so then they eventually went up to 3. And now it's at a household can have up to 3 children per household. But the point I'm trying to make is that wouldn't be in our society. That wouldn't be in a righteous kingdom. There is no, we ain't finna tell you, oh, you know what I'm saying, you can't have but one child per household, because the Lord said to be fruitful and multiply. Right. And furthermore, in the kingdom of heaven, we're gonna need servants, we're gonna need slaves. So we're gonna need these other nations to reproduce so that the next generation can come on the earth, get old enough to where they can go out there and start working.
Right.
But all these mindsets and these ideologies, a lot of it comes from the West. And the West is, you know, Western culture. Basically, it comes from Esau Edom and his ideas that he spread across the 4 corners of the earth. Because why is monogamy in other countries where it shouldn't exist? You know, why are people more accepting of monogamy in the East, where polygyny was prominent at? But you know, it started over here in the Middle,
Right.
where it started with Esau Edom, rather.
Right.
They go back to Emperor Constantine back in 326 AD. You know, he did a decree that Israelites had to have 4 wives. He cut it down from multiple wives to 4 wives. Then he cut that down from 4 wives to 1 wife. And that's where that 1-wife system came into play. And I saw research that said that ever since the man had went to the 1-wife system, that it has thrown off all the order and the structure, because now you have more divorce than you do marriage.
Right.
You know, and you know, the way the Most High populated the earth with more women than men, because the man was to multiply, you know, and that go back into Malachi. He wanted godly seeds from those marriages.
Right.
You know, so this man has really, you know, torn up the structure that the Most High set forth. That's why the Most High is going to bring it back with Isaiah 4:1.
Yeah, but and even with that too, because these women, they still proud, because they seeing the situation that they now being put in, and they still will not humble themselves.
They sure won't.
So, and on that same video that I was talking about with the man that jumped the fence and that was trying to kidnap the women, the brother, it was a brother who uploaded it. There was another video right behind it, and it was this guy, Jake. He was had this hood chick coming through. She didn't look good at all. You know, had this hood chick coming through at night to basically, I guess he was probably gonna pay her and lay with her. But what wound up happening, or maybe he didn't have to pay her. But what wound up happening was, as soon as he opened the door for her, she walked in, three other Jakes came in with guns and they robbed her. And from the guy who was doing the video, not the brother, because he was just, you know, uploading it. But the guy on the video doing the commentary, he said that they killed her. So Jake out of just trying to mess around with Eve, a hood Eve at that, you know, and she didn't look good at all. Like she was big,
Yeah.
you know, she was unattractive.
Like the top.
Yeah, she was sloppy.
Yeah.
Whole body was sloppy.
And that's what's happening a lot in Memphis now. The women are doing the robbing and the killing. But they're actually setting men up, you know, to go, you know, out on whatever these sites that they're on, and they come to the room and they rob, you know, and they kill them. So in some instances, but mostly rob.
And that's what happened in this one. But she wasn't the one robbing. She was just the bait to set him up. And as soon as he opened that door, that's when the other dudes came right behind her, and they opened the door and they took something out. But the guy on the video said it was caught on the Ring camera. The guy on the video said that he wound up dying, or they probably killed him. So we have to be circumspectly, even when these women do come, because a lot of these women, they not coming with good intentions. No. And then on top of that, a lot of women not even, the Lord they're not even destined to be saved. But the Spirit of the Lord is going to be with the brothers to be able to decipher who needs to be chosen and who don't. Right. You know, because Isaiah 4:1 is more than just us getting all these women. A lot of women are not going to be chosen. A lot of women are going to be rejected, and we just have to, you know, being circumspect. You got to consider all the possibilities too. Going back to the definition, or it says synonyms, it says cautiously, prudently, vigilantly, discreetly, and guardedly. So this is how we have to be moving and how we have to be thinking for the time to come. You got a piece of can you get we can get the Ephesians 5:15 again. I'm gonna read some more of this. Because it says, what does circumspectly mean biblically? I'm gonna read this, I'm gonna read down on this. I'm gonna let you read the verse 15 to 16. 5, 15 to 16.
All right, this is Ephesians 5, verse 15. You're reading in the KJV or the...
Let me do KJV.
Or the AM.
KJV. This is simple.
It says, see... This is Ephesians 5:15. See then that you walk circumspect, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time because the days are evil.
Right. So now this says, what does circumspectly mean biblically? It says in the Bible, circumspectly means to live and act with caution, wisdom, and a careful awareness of one's surroundings. So that's what Isaiah 33:6, wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy time and strength of salvation. And the fear of the Lord is his treasure. Because the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. So that's what's going to separate the men of the Lord from the rest of the men of the nation. We're going to be walking, Lord, will we are that number. The men of the Lord is going to be walking with wisdom, and the spirit of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua is going to be guiding them. So, you know, it says, not as fools, but as wise, Ephesians 5:15. This implies being watchful, prudent, and mindful of one's conduct to avoid error and danger. Because again, the situations that's about to be set on the earth are going to be life and death situations, like we read Jacob's trouble in Jeremiah 30:7, and a time of trouble like never before in Daniel chapter 12. So in order to avoid making a bad decision that can ultimately lead unto your death and those under you there, we have to be moving always in the spirit and wisdom of what these scriptures, what we've been learning and what we've been taught. And we have to have faith. Now is the time of that testing to put everything that we've been gaining this whole time on the line, you know, or to the test rather. You get
Let me read this in the AMP. This is Ephesians 5:15. It said, therefore see that you walk carefully, living life with honor, purpose, and courage, shunning those who tolerate and enable evil, not as the unwise, but as wise, sensible, intelligent, discerning people, making the very most of your time on earth, recognizing and taking advantage of each opportunity and using it with wisdom and diligence, because the days are filled with evil. You know,
Right.
basically summing up what he said in a nutshell. You know, you have to, walk carefully and shun those that do evil. You know, most I saying don't be around them. If you know they do evil, don't be out there with them, because you know that's gonna bring evil back to you. Or don't bring them into your house, because the scriptures say be careful who you invite into your house.
Right.
You know, so that's like you going back to the guy that invited the woman over. He thought he was gonna have a good time, but he was bringing evil. Inviting evil into his house. And he should have been circumspect to know that by the way she talked, and how she was.
Right.
What kind of woman he was inviting in his house.
Right. And the sign's gonna be there to look. See the Lord, we understand how the Lord moves. We understand how the Lord has been making connections with us so that we can know certain decisions to make and certain decisions not to make, certain times to be patient. First and foremost, we gonna pray, because prayer is something that we are familiar with. The more you do it, the more familiar you become. The familiar voice you become in the ear of the Lord.
Right.
But then also too, we know how it works. Sometimes he answers you right away. Sometimes he might answer you in a dream. Sometimes it might take a little minute.
Right.
But we know the Lord is gonna answer us.
Right.
So we gonna pray about certain situations. We gonna move a certain way.
And just like going through the day, you wake up in the morning, you know that what you're supposed to do become a part of your life.
Right. And throughout the day.
Yeah, right.
In all situations. I think it was Elder Yashawamba that it was one of the brothers in Dallas, but I think it was Elder Yashawamba that said, when you pray whenever you. It was GMS in Rome.
Right.
Lions in Rome. But he was saying every time you get in your car, you about to head to when you about to leave and head to a destination, you pray to get to your destination safely. Even praying and thanking the Lord for the little things.
Right.
Well, not little things, but the things that we don't really consider, like being able to see, hear, get up without needing help and different things like that. Like, you pray about all these things.
All the things.
And all things, and pray for good or bad. Like you said, that small good voice, the Lord, a lot of times you get ready to do something that you're really not supposed to, and not unaware of. It's something that the Most High gives you a block you from doing. If you were supposed to be going somewhere, and you were supposed to have, there's an accident, and if you left at that time, would have put you right in the middle of the midst of that accident, he delayed you. They can't find your keys, you can phone call, or anything that happened. They delayed you from going. And you'd be like, wow, if I would have left at this time, I would have been caught right in the middle.
I get that because my head and say kind of pray. Get up there and pray.
Right. And it's becoming a part of our daily life.
Right.
Not just something that we do when we think about it, but it should be routine as far as to pray before you wake up and go to sleep. And everything else in between is a part of your daily life. Yeah. How you doing? After you wake up and before you go to sleep, it should be a part of your daily routine. I went back and said after you wake up and before you go to sleep. It says, this implies being watchful, prudent, and mindful of one's conduct to avoid error and danger, while redeeming the time because the days are evil. It involves carefully considering the consequences of actions and making choices that align with the Most High's will. Because again, we're going to be put in situations where we're going to have to make these decisions. And as men, because women, any woman that is under you, she's going to be looking to you to guide her and protect her. At this time, at that time, rather, women are literally going to be tapped into that mindset of their only survival, or their only chance of survival is following after you. And this, I'm speaking to the men of the Lord, the brothers, including myself. But the only way the women are going to be able to survive is through you. So they're going to be looking for you for guidance, for direction, whatever the case may be. So we have the responsibility of guiding and being led by Yahweh by Shema Shah.
And some of those, a lot of those women are seeing that now because when you're speaking the truth and you're being bold and honest and standing up for the truth and moving in the way that Yahweh Shah is coming, they see that, and they're already in their mind, waiting till that time to make a move to try to be under your cover. They begin to see that a lot of them. They see you catch you while you're at work, while you walk, the way you talk. They know it's something different about him that I want to be, under his protection.
Right.
They just haven't made a move on it. But when that time comes, it's like the Most High put you in places where these women will see, they would notice you. So, it's not like they come from Texas or down, I heard about you from Texas or somewhere, but it's right among them.
Right. And we walk with that confidence because we not walking boldly as in like arrogant. We ain't walking proud or high minded because we got this truth. But we do walk with confidence. This comes with a level of confidence this world can't understand or it can't comprehend. You can only comprehend or understand it if you in it. But it do give you a level of confidence because I know me myself personally, just speaking for myself, each brother got their own preference. And me myself, I always, after being built up to a certain extent or a certain level, I always wanted to have the spiritual power, or wanted to have spiritual power. So I wasn't really concerned with trying to find, grab a gun or, find a means, have a gun or something like that. I'd be more at peace with knowing that the Lord will deliver me out of a situation or give me the power to deliver, be delivered out of a situation versus turn into a weapon, no matter what the situation is. So me personally, unless the Lord just, deliver me out of that, I would rather for him to give me the spiritual power than have a gun.
Right.
But that's a level of confidence because it's individuals, we work around, we live around them, or they might be in our family. They feel like they can't go nowhere without their gun. They feel like if they don't have their gun, something might pop off and they don't want to be unprepared. But someone like me, I don't travel or move around with a gun at all. They don't, that ain't on my mind. So if something come down, I would rather turn to the Lord. And I'm saying this too. And just saying that, a lot of times, the Lord, he'll put you in a situation where he put it to the test. So you always got to be in that mindset, like, Lord, give me the spirit to actually mean what I say too.
I see what you're saying, because that's what I'm saying. Well, I don't be wrong. When I go out, I feel like I should be around all that. But we pretty more around anybody. So I pray about it. And I let Yahweh Shema Shah be my weapon when I go out. Because I ain't never on gun, and I don't feel right having it. You know what I'm saying? My spirit, it convinced me, even though I had, my dad died, he had a gun, but somebody broke in the house while I was not staying there, they took the gun. It's sort of like it was a relief, because I didn't ever take it to the spot that I stayed there, did it? So I can always feel like, know, long as I got your how about my shot, I'm on his team, and I'm following with whatever he do. I should never have to have one to be protected of a gun. I don't need a school.
But I don't carry it.
Right.
If he laid on my spirit that I need to carry it, I will. But
Right.
other than that, I don't carry it because they'll go back to what he said, level. So, but I do have the home protection. I need it, I got it. Like I said, if you put it on my spirit, carry it out and about it, I will. I don't feel like I don't feel like it because
I got one thing to say. And I, you know, I always thought somebody come in on, I always feel like in my spirit, Yahweh by some shot gonna give me that extra strength that I pray for. Be stronger than 100 bulls put together. 100 bulls. And I know ain't no man gonna be able to contain 100 bulls when they hit them at one time.
And I use God for it. Hebrew Israelite. Shalom, shalom. Shalom, alaikum, or shalom, shalom, shalom. Shalom, my brother. I know I'm a Hebrew. Yahweh, Yahshua. I celebrate your holidays, Passover, the Holy Saturday. And I just got out.
Now I'm talking about, I feel like if I came down in this situation,
I know it.
That's what it. That's showing you what it looks like.
Okay, so what is that?
It's like a grain of rice, but it's a small device. See, you good?
I just feel like when that time comes, like just say somebody bull rush me in my hand, I feel like that power gonna hit me automatically. If he 6'2", 6'3", 6'4", or 200, I'm gonna be able to handle him through Yahweh Shema Shah. And I have that feel, that confidence, and I have that faith that any man rush me like that in my house, like that power that's gonna be automatic, zap to me, to be able to keep that man from disharming me and my family.
Yeah, we pray that don't happen.
But I'm just saying.
Pray we're not in that situation that we can carry on the work of the Most High. He just give us protection.
Yeah.
That's something that I pray for every night, morning, all through the day, that He give us the protection, not only for me, my family, and the brothers.
Yeah, and the brothers,
and the elect, that He protect us from
the wicked. Yeah.
Because it's not a good feeling.
Right.
It's not a good situation that you want to experience.
No.
To be put in a situation. I've been in that situation because I used to be in law enforcement.
Right.
And pulling a gun on somebody and at the point to where you about to pull the trigger.
Right.
It's not a good feeling that you want to have. So that's why, like I said, I put all my trust in Him and I pray that He protect me. And if it's my time, it's my time. I can't do anything about it, no matter how many guns I have. So, I don't condone violence, but if you need to use it to take care of yourself, you use it. But, as of now, my trust is with Him.
Right.
And that's one thing He promised to protect me. So,
Just like the guy that came up, I ain't even usually I be watching and listening and hearing, somebody come up, but we gotta we're going into you gotta be circumspect.
Yeah.
You gotta look around, you gotta be aware of your surroundings, and now is the times are getting more and more evil, and it's starting to get darker. So the daylight saving time is about to switch.
Right.
So anyway, You know, he walked up and, you know, he had his hands with it inside of whatever he had, you know, had on, his jacket or whatever. So, you know, I'm just watching him. And he's stopping right up in here, this area right here. You can literally just see, but he already had demons on him. You can literally see one of them activate, because I don't know if y'all noticed, but after he bent down, he stood straight up and started talking to us.
Right.
But in my mind, I'm thinking like this is a demon talking to us, because he out of nowhere just say, you know, shalom, assalamu alaikum. You know, he started going through the different denominations and how they greet each other.
Right.
And then started talking about the market. He even said, I heard him. I don't know if y'all heard that.
I didn't hear it.
I was paying attention to how his reaction was doing.
Yeah, he had said shalom. You know.
Yeah.
You know, don't no regular person know that. You know, and I don't know no history about him or nothing, but you can literally just tell that it was demons on him, because how he was and how he walked away talking to himself, different things like that. But nevertheless, just how we going into being circumspect.
Right.
Instantly I locked in, you know, because I ain't trying to make it seem like we trained or anything like that, but we have, you know, some like the brother he have taken classes to know how to shoot. You know how to shoot.
Yeah.
You know, me myself personally, I took classes of, you know, MMA, so we know how to defend ourselves if we ever get in those situations. But we know who to call on, and we ain't, you know, we're not afraid of certain situations. The Lord told us to be strong and courageous. So, but we in the flesh, you know, fear is gonna kick in. But for the most part, He told us to be strong and courageous. We know that the Spirit of Yahweh Shema Bashai is with us. The angels is around us. We ain't got nothing to worry about. So even when that guy came up, you know, you don't know what people gonna do. Right. So, you know, you prepare yourself. That's why I put my phone up, you know, kind of got in a little stance just in case he tries something, just in case something happened. But at the end of the day, ain't nothing happened. But like we going into, you got to be circumspect.
Right. Like when he walked up, before he bent down, I'm already praying in my head, you know, to Yahweh Shah, you know. And when he stood back up, I had finished, and that's when he started talking. And that goes to show you that those spirits know who we are, you know, because then the spirits start greeting us and talking to us, you know, and carrying on, you know, in a manner that, you know, like, hey, I don't have no beef with y'all, you know, and you know, then he gonna point out that he's like, I got a 666, you know, tattooed on his head. You know,
he had his whole face was full of tattoos.
And so, you know, it just goes to show you that, you know, the spirits know who you are. As you know, mainly, and I'm talking about the brothers that are in the truth. They know who the ones not in the truth. But they know the ones in the truth, they know who they are, and they know that, hey, I just can't walk up on them and do what I want to do with them, you know. Because like the brother said, the angels are standing watch, you know, and those spirits see those angels. You know, and so, you know, he came, you know, he walked on in peace and everything, you know, so.
I'm going to keep going. It says, key aspects of walking circumspectly. It says, wisdom and caution. The term emphasizes making wise choices and being alert to potential dangers and temptations as opposed to acting foolishly. Because how we handle a situation would probably be completely different than how, when I say we, I ain't just talking about us, I'm talking about men in this truth. How we handle this situation would be different from how men of the world, people of the world would handle situations like that, which can escalate things and possibly lead to someone being harmed or killed or something like that, you know, whatever the situation may be. And each brother, I ain't saying each brother would have handled it the same way. You know, certain brothers would have probably handled that different. But, go ahead. I was just gonna say, I was gonna keep going.
Yeah, I was just gonna say right, because, you know, we have to follow the example of Yahweh Shah. Yahweh Shah was under much restraint, you know, had much restraint to restrain himself when he was getting beat, when he was going through situations that, you know, people was challenging him, and, you know, but he had the power. He had the power in his hand to do harm, to do a lot of things to these people. But he had the restraint, to not, and that takes a lot. That takes maturity in the spirit to not do that. And that's the level we're trying to be at. Because we're talking about it now, this spirit walks up and says, I'm gonna test them and see what they gonna do. I'm gonna come at them like, I'm gonna do something, because the guy reaction like, he going in his shirt, he walking, he bending, he doing all that, like, at any given time, he can come out with something, come up with something.
Right.
But, we stood calmly and continued on and, conversated with the brother, like, hey, we know who our protection is.
It says awareness and vigilance. It involves being mindful of one's actions, speech, and overall conduct, taking into account one's duty to the Most High and the example one sets for others. So this is also in our day-to-day life too. Like you said, awareness and vigilance, because we are. Can you get that scripture where it say, it's a walk wise to them that are without? It's something along those lines. To them that are without. I forgot exactly how it's worded, but. We have to walk with wisdom even in our day-to-day right now, because as times get worse.
Walk wisely for the days are evil.
No, I said to them that are without. It's something along those lines, to them that are without. I know it has something like that with to them that are without. Basically like walking wise. Or like you said with wisdom. But I don't think it's worded like this. But like I said, in our day-to-day life, you're going, especially as times gets more and more evil, even the people in your day-to-day life, they gonna start to bug out. They gonna start to bug out, and they gonna start to get more and more conflicted about what they need to do, because they don't know the Lord, and the Lord is not dealing with them. So even being amongst them, you got to be wise about how you speak and how you deal with them. Because they gonna notice your calm. Like they gonna notice how peaceful, how you not bothered by the same things that's bothering the rest of the people around. And like even when I gave the example about me not having a gun, my coworkers actually asked me, well, one of my coworkers asked me about it. But it was, a bunch of them around. And every time you move differently, people take notice of it. They trying to figure you out, but they can't. So when I was asked about, do I own a gun, I said no. And I gave my reasons why. I ain't really go much into the scriptures about it. Just say, I really don't have no need for one. I'd rather learn hand-to-hand combat, because 9 times out of 10, the majority of people you come across can't fight. They don't know how to properly fight or defend themselves. Everything is just random. So you will have a better chance of hand-to-hand combat, especially if you can get the advantage over them. What you got?
This is Colossians chapter 4 and verse 5. Walk in wisdom toward them that are without, right, redeeming the time.
Right. Walk in wisdom to them that are without, redeeming the time. Meaning the people that's without wisdom, redeeming the time. They're redeeming the time again, more what time we're living in. So even in our day-to-day, we got to be careful about how the information we give, the type of, how we move or how we react. Really is how you react to certain situations. Because again, these people are on edge. And a lot of spirits, like you said, these spirits know who we are. And these demons are going to get activated in these people. So with them getting activated, they're going to be trying. And you got to be wise about, or they're going to be trying, people going to be on edge. So they're going to be doing things bugging. Now you got to know when to move away from them, when not to intervene. In certain matters, in certain situations, because if you do, you can find yourself in a situation that you couldn't. That's unnecessary.
I'm gonna read it in the A&P.
Okay.
Colossians 4 and 5. In the A&P. Conduct yourself with wisdom in your interactions with outsiders, with non-believers. Make the most of each opportunity, treating it as something precious. Let your speech at all times be gracious and pleasant, seasoned with salt, so that you will know how to answer each one who questions you.
Right. And I'm going to read this again. It says awareness and vigilance. It involves being mindful of one's actions, speech, and overall conduct, which is going right into what But the brother read, I'm glad you read in the AMP because it does go more in depth in that. Being mindful of one's actions, speech, and overall conduct, taking into account one's duty to the Most High and the example one set for others. So like you said, you got to be mindful of how you move around these people. And remember that we still are lights in this world. This world is getting darker, but we are the lights that's shining. But you're going to have certain people that see that they taking, like you said, they taking notice. You know, certain women, certain men, they take notice of you, and they're trying to figure you out. And with them trying to figure you out, they start to follow you. Even if it's unconsciously, they start to do things that you do, or start to listen to what you say and take it into consideration. You know, this is how we are moving in this earth. So we gotta, you know, even take that into consideration. It says, redeeming the time. A circumspect walk involves making the most of every opportunity to do good and live according to biblical principles. Spiritual discernment. It includes being aware of spiritual forces and having discernment to navigate a challenging world with integrity. Somebody get I forgot how it was. We wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities. I think it's Second Corinthians, it's Ephesians. 2 Corinthians 10, I think. Or 5. I think it's in Corinthians. Read it again. Spiritual discernment. It involves being aware. It involves being aware of spiritual. It involves being aware of spiritual forces and having discernment to navigate a challenging world with integrity, which is something that the mass really nobody has except for those of the hopeful elect. You know, had that mindset to walk in a world with integrity, in a challenging world with integrity and discernment. You know, knowing what we really up against. Because again, it's not that these people are just truly up against you, but it's the spirits on these people that's causing them to be against you.
Yeah. I'm gonna read this in the AMP, then I'm gonna read it in the KJV. It says, and this is Ephesians 6 and 12. For our struggles is not against flesh and blood, contending only with physical opponents, but against the rulers, against the powers, against the world forces of this present darkness, against spiritual forces of wickedness in heavenly supernatural places.
Right.
Now reading this in the KJV, it said, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places.
Right. So we understand what we truly fighting against. It ain't just flesh and blood. This is on a whole different level, the whole spiritual level. You know. And with us fighting, with us, this is why we gotta stay prayed up. We gotta stay trusted in Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh to protect us. This is why we have faith. You know, this is why we increasing in faith. Because literally the situations people finna find themselves in, they not gonna have no way out of it. But Yahweh Shai is our way out of it. Somebody can hold Revelations 3.
Right, because next month, you know, a way of living is going to be drastically cut off for a lot of people. You know, because think about it, people get their benefits. I ain't gonna call a name because I don't want to flag the you know, message, but a lot of benefits going to be cut off. People way of living, people living is going to be drastically, you know, stopped, because you know they do all kind of things with those benefits, you know, to make ends meet. They have to do what they have to do to make a living. So that's gonna go into effect next month. So you know, it's not gonna be you know, a lot of happy, wicked, pagan holidays this coming year for a lot of people. You know, mainly 2/3 of our people.
All right. I'm gonna read this.
You want to get Revelation
3, 9, 10. I'm reading the last one. It says alignment with Scripture. The Bible is the ultimate guide for this kind of living. By consciously studying the Most High's Word and seeking His guidance through prayer, believers can understand what is wise and right in every situation. So, like I said, the Scriptures is the ultimate guide, which is finna be cut off from the mass majority of people because they took the grace period for granted. You know, they took the period where they were supposed to learn the truth for granted. And I know, you know, brothers and sisters can't see. We got a dog that just came and sat right in front of us. You know, while we
He came behind us first.
right. He came from behind us, and now he's sitting right in front of us, listening to the truth. It's what is it? Black? Yeah. But even the animals have more sense to come and listen to the word than the people of the world. And on top of that, it probably sees something that we can't see.
Exactly.
And I'm reading one more time, you guys. It says the Bible is the ultimate guide for this kind of living. By consistently studying the Most High's Word and seeking His guidance through prayer, believers can understand what is wise and right in every situation. And it's not even often that you would have a dog to come and just sit by you, you know. Especially, you know, if it's a stray or, you know, outside. I'm pretty sure it's looking for food, but just to come and sit by you, sit down, you know, while we out here at camp, and we complete strangers.
You relax.
Right. He relaxed. It's like he on guard for us.
Right, I was about to say that. I'll protect you. All right, this is Revelations 3 in verse 9. I'm going to read in the AMP and then I'm going to read it in the KJV. It says, take note. I will make those of the synagogue of Satan who say that they are Jews and are not, but lie. I will make them come and bow down at your feet and make them know without any doubt that I have loved you.
Right. So he said, those the synagogue of Satan, those the miniature hats in our land, those who claiming to be us, he believe it. He said he gonna make them the bow down at our feet, and that's the time we coming into. As soon as their kingdom fall, they ain't gonna have no choice but to do this. Probably.
Got to find another dog.
That too, yeah. All right, verse 10, it said, because you have kept the word of my endurance, my command to preserve, I will
Persevere.
Persevere, Salaki. I will keep you safe from the hour of trial, the hour which is about to come on the whole inhabited world, to test those who live on the earth.
You been reading the
KJV, it says, behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews and are not, but do lie. Behold, I will make them to come and worship before thy feet, and to know that I have loved thee.
Right. So the Lord said, because we kept the hour of His patience, He gonna keep us in the hour of temptation. You know, we have kept His patience, meaning we done what Yahweh Shah commanded of us, even when it was unpopular, even when it was it brought us being demoted in this world. You know, we were ridiculed. We had to go through things that the rest of the people of this world didn't have to go through, you know. But this is what it's leading up into. Like I said, he gonna keep us, and when you go into that keep it going, to keep you in this right state of mind. So we can continue on walking circumspectly and trusting in Yahweh Shah. We're not gonna have anything to worry about. We ain't gonna have nothing to worry about in the times that's to come, you know. Even when, even for those who are supposed to, you know, there's gonna be martyrs for the truth's sake. We don't have nothing to worry about because Yahweh Shah already got the victory. You know, we just playing out everything till it actually, you know, till he actually returns. But every you know, us that's of the hopefully lit, we're not gonna have nothing to worry about. So like he said, he's gonna keep us in our right state of mind while the rest of the world bug out during the most trying time ever on the earth. Brother, forgive me. Isaiah 33.
You want verse 10?
I thought that was 10.
9.
Yeah, you can read 10.
Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth.
So like he said, it's gonna come upon the whole world. It's gonna try everybody, us included, but we got an advantage. Yahweh Shah is gonna be with us and keep us safe, keep us in our right state of mind. Which again, this is why a man of the Lord is gonna be very, very precious in the time of his return. Well, in the times that we're coming into. Because I did a lesson on that either yesterday or the day before that about how the men of the Lord are the top men on earth. And I used Chat GPT, and it was basically saying in the ancient world, the men of the Lord were literally the highest value type of men according to the eyes of the Lord, and how they still are to this day. It's just that modern society has changed that value to thinking a man that's making 6 figures, a man that's got the perfect body, man that's he got the status, the fame. They got you thinking that that's really the high value man, but that's not according to the scriptures. Because as this society continue to crumble, those standards and those statuses fall with it. But a man of integrity, a man who got character after the Lord, whose mindset is fixed on the Lord, who serves the Lord, that's a high value man. It's easy for the Lord to make a poor man rich, but the character is what's most important to the Lord. That's why he say he judges your heart. You know, your mindset, how you think, and who you truly are. And those are the men that's highly valued. That's why men like King David, you know, King Solomon were high value men in the ancient world. But the wicked, you think about Saul. You know, Saul at one point, when he was on the right path, he would be considered a high value man, but then he turned away from the path and he went, you know, he basically went evil, and the spirit of the Lord left him. And then on top of that, he lost the kingdom. And everything after that, you know, he lost.
Right, you know, and also going back to what you said earlier, you know, how Shah have given us the playbook. You know, he have given us everybody has the playbook, but he's given us understanding of the playbook, you know, which is a treasure, you know, because now we know how to move, like you said, we know how to move in this world when certain situations come about. You know, and what the verse we're about to go into, you know, when those situations come about, we know how to move because he has already told us that they were coming. So we know how to prepare, and then he will be there to give us the wisdom, to give us the spiritual power to be able to handle those situations. You know, so the coach is giving out the playbook to everybody. But, you know, it's just like on a football team, you got a lot of players don't understand the plays, you know, but they out there. But we understand the play, so they making mistakes and making errors, you know, and what's happening, other teams scoring touchdowns on them or intercepting the ball. But that's not going to happen with us. You know, we're going to be able to defend and both sides of the ball and put a butt whooping on everything else.
And the times that we coming into, like the end times, when Esau really going to put the squeeze on, the scripture say it ain't, she's on suffering, but it would not tear it. But the time we coming into, It ain't to punish this elect, it's to punish the 2/3 and the other heathens, man.
Right.
But it said in them days, like his servants gonna eat.
Right.
If the Lord with you, he gonna be with you. You gonna be taken care of. You ain't got nothing to worry about. The brother Ayasha did a video on that where he went live. And that's some of the things he was going into, and why he was. Cause I was at work listening to it, and I thought about it. It's almost like school. Everybody gonna get tested.
Right.
We've been over here rehearsing the right back to the best, trying to keep the law to the best our ability. We've been studying the whole time, so we should be straight when the test comes. Of course, you might have your moments be like, yeah, you might get a little nervous, or I forgot that one, but the Lord wish you'd be okay. But we ain't gonna be in a sense of panic like everybody else. Everybody else wait till the last minute, you know what I'm saying? Hey, the test here now, and you gonna fuck around and fail.
Well, you know, it goes back to like during my childhood and the brotherhood childhood. When you pass those quizzes and you do those book assignments, what happened? You got exempt from some tests, you know, and the teachers would get together and say, okay, we're gonna have popcorn and pizza and let y'all watch a movie down here in the gym, or depending on how many people it was in this room, while everybody else getting tested. You know, so that's what we're going into in this verse 3 here. You know, we're hoping that we're like the brother quoted, we're eating and drinking and enjoying ourselves, you know, during the time of the test.
You might even get to grade the papers.
Right.
And I was thinking about a scenario earlier too, because like you think about it, like the men of the Lord gonna be the most precious thing in that time, you know, and the Lord might have it set up to where your neighborhood and division don't have power, but not only do He give you, you know, your house or you know whatever you living in, not only do He give it power, but you be the power source as a man, you know, as long as not only as long as you there, because you might have, just say you got wives living there too, but as long as basically your blessing is there, you know, because the Lord giving you the power, it's gonna always have power. Wherever you say it should be power, it be power, and wherever you say cut the power off, it be off. You know, nothing got to be plugged up. You know, nothing literally got to be plugged up. Whatever you want on, you just think about it and it turn on. So if the Lord, let's say you wake up, you know, and the Lord fill your pantry up with some food, enough to fill your whole house, and y'all have extra, you know, and you might tell your wives to go up in there and cook, you know, cook a meal or whatever, and they go cook a meal, nothing plugged up, you know, the power source is coming through you, which is coming through Yahweh Ba'Shem Abashah through you. And then the same with the water, the whole water system might be off, but y'all got water, but every time they use the water, it's clean, it's pure clean water. It's not even, it's no way possible to even explain it how it's so clear and how it's clean. You know, y'all got water, warm water to take a bath with, or it might be cold, you know, however it might be. You know, just thinking about something like that.
Kind of going into that movie from, you know, because it was like that, but you know, the power source was being fed from underground, but they still didn't know where it was coming from.
But they ain't explained it on From yet either. The TV show.
Yeah. But you know, it's kind of in that scenario. They got water.
Yeah.
They isolated from the whole world, but they got
How?
all the amenities of the world.
Right.
You know, and also too, going back into Isaiah 4:1, thinking about it. You know, a lot of your wives may bring food to the, because it said the women gonna come and said we got our own food, we got our own clothing. We eat our own bread and we have our own clothing. So they may bring food to the table, you know, that you know at that time. So going back to the scriptures, the Lord said He was going to do it more miraculously than He did the first time when He brought the children of Israel out of Egypt. So you know we don't know what to expect. We just rationalize, you know, but we know during that time we'll be taken care of.
That's right. Like I said, the Lord might make it to where the men of the Lord, you are the power source for all the things in the house that you need, you know, to utilize for at least for that time period. So the women that be with you, they gonna know. You might go to it might be cold. Like how weather get ready to change now, winter is coming. It might be cold, but you might have a glow around you that keep you warm, and anybody that you want it to extend out to, it might keep them warm. Everybody else can see it, you know, but they can't be a part of it unless they go through you, you know. And you will have the spirit to discern if you should pick up another woman or not, or, you know, however the situation may go, you know. So there ain't no telling, you know, that's just speculation I was thinking about earlier. But again, the Lord said wisdom and knowledge should be the stability of that time. The Lord is going to be with us.
What you were just saying, you can think of it like say you can be the power source. Say in order to have power, you like you got the ground.
Verse 11 in that Revelation 30. They can say hold fast.
All right, this is Revelation 3. I'm going to read it in both versions. It said, I am coming quickly. Hold tight what you have, so that no one would take your crown by leading you to renounce the faith. KJV, it says, behold, I come quickly. Hold that fast which thou hast, that no man take thy crown.
Right, that no man take thy crown. You know, don't. Basically, we ain't supposed to be falling back into this world. You know, Yahweh Shah said, hold on. Basically, endure. What he told us in Matthew 24, you got to endure to the end. The saints shall be saved.
He said in this chapter in 10, because you have kept the word of my endurance.
For the AMP.
Because you have kept the word of my endurance, my commandments to persevere, I will keep you safe from the hour of trials, that hour which is about to come on the whole inhabitants of the world, to test those who live on the earth. I am coming quick. I am coming quick. Hold tight what you have, so that no man will take your crown by leading you to renounce the faith. Verse 12 it says, he who overcomes the world, who believing that Yahweh Shah is the son of Yahweh, I will make him a pillar in the temple of my power. He will most certainly never be put out of it, and I will write on him the name of my power, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah, and the name of the city of my power, the New Jerusalem, Yahshua, which descended out of the heavens by Yahweh, and my own new name.
Right, so he that overcometh. You know, that's who it's addressed to, the elect. The elect are the ones that's gonna overcome. They're the ones that got the victory. So all this spiritual advice that Yahweh Shah has given to us, that He has left for us, which has been for our learning, it's for us to overcome this time. We know how to overcome it through His blood, you know, and through this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, which the brother finna read in Isaiah 33. So with us knowing all these things and knowing the times we living in, while walking circumspectly is all the more important. You can start at 1 and read down to 6.
This is Isaiah 33 and 1. Woe to thee that spoilest, and thou was not spoiled, and dealest treacherously, and they dealt not treacherously with thee. When thou shalt cease to spoil, thou shalt be spoiled, and when thou shalt make an end to deal treacherously, they shall deal treacherously with thee.
Right, see, and that's a process building up to that, you know. So now that he's done spoiling, which he's still spoiling, he's still harassing our people, but the judgments that we've been talking about, you know, even with Jacob's trouble, all of this is for the downfall of Esau, Edom's kingdom. The Lord's just gonna use Esau to get our people one last time, but all of this literally happens for this man's kingdom to fall. So when he make a full end of dealing treacherously, daddy ain't gonna get dealt treacherously with. So we coming into that time, but before we get there, we gotta go through this evil.
Oh, Yahweh Shem Yahweh be gracious unto us. We have waited for thee. Be thou their arm every morning, our salvation also in the time of trouble.
Right.
At the noise of the tumult, the people fled. At the lifting up of thyself, the nations were scattered. And your spoils shall be gathered like the gathering of the caterpillar, as the running to and fro of locusts shall he run upon them. Yahweh Shem Yahweh is exalted, for he dwelleth on high. He hath filled Zion with judgment and righteousness.
Right. He exalted, he dwelt on high, he filled Zion, starting with the elect, which is going to eventually translate to the entire nation in the kingdom of heaven. But he filled us with judgment and righteousness. So now we understand why the Lord doing it, and we agree with, we 100% with it. You know, not that the Lord needed our approval, but we 144% with what the Lord is doing on the earth. And we consider it righteous because we know he considered it righteous.
And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy time, and drink of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure.
Right, so wisdom and knowledge is what's going to keep us stable during that time of all these great evils. And it's going to help us walk circumspectly because we have something to rely on and lean back on. While the rest of the earth, or the rest of our people primarily, is going to be searching to and fro trying to figure out where the truth is, where the Israelites is, you know, where the real doctrine is, because they finding out more and more that these churches are not where the truth is, not where the truth is. Like that one pastor that said he had one of his congregation members bring him with $1,300, and he told them $2,000, and he still took the money anyway, and then put it on the spot and embarrassed him.
Yeah.
Saying, and then she said she gonna get the rest of the $700, and he said that ain't what I asked you.
Yeah, he wanted to bring what they was 1,000 or something.
2,000.
I want to double. That didn't make no sense.
So people are starting to figure out that these churches ain't the truth. And as time gets closer and closer, they're gonna realize that the Israelites been telling you, the men of the Lord been telling you what's about to come. But for Israelites that didn't take it seriously, like the brother was going into about the test, there's no way you can't just show up to an exam and think you're gonna pass when you ain't been studying. And that's why a lot of women, they gonna turn to the men of the Lord. A lot of women gonna be rejected, and the rest of the women that's not to be rejected, they gonna be taken. You know, they gonna be saved for childbearing.
And these people gonna get out of their trance eventually. Like I ain't even know the story you were just talking about, but it's crazy as hell because you go up to any random woman, just say you demand some money, she just mess around and give it to you, and then you tell her that ain't enough and try to take it. Man, that ain't gonna fly with anybody on the street.
Right.
But I guess they look up to these pastors and stuff like at they hold them up to a certain standard, so they think they gotta act or do something a certain way around them, but it's gonna go away after a while.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, because like you're saying, it made me think about what happened today at work. Me and two of my coworkers, we walked over to UMC to get some, because they got a much better choice of food than what we have over where I work at. Right. And so we walked over there, and so we were just, in line and joking with the lady that we didn't know her. We just joked with her. So the lady in front of us, I said, you said the lady in front of us with the pink on gonna pay, right? And he said, yeah, the lady tells she gonna pay. And she turned around and looked. I said, oh, she looked like, what y'all talking about? She like, yeah, I ain't can see what y'all talking about. I'm gonna pay. She said, that ain't how it goes. She said, I'm paying on special occasion. Only buy me and food on special occasion. I said, oh, special occasion. I said, why is that? She like, the man's supposed to buy the food. I said, show me where that's written. Yeah. Show me where that's written at that the man's supposed to buy the food. She couldn't say a word. So I mean, it's just using wisdom. I just use wisdom of this world, just to cut that notion out. She started laughing, like, no, don't say that, like I know, But we were just joking with her,
Yeah, having fun.
Right.
Women, they gonna tap back into the mindset of certain things. Yeah, might. I feel like you do.
No, she was okay.
You might. She probably would have paid you.
She probably had no problem. Yeah.
Right. So these women, they gonna tap back into that mindset as soon as we gonna see how it come with these SNAP benefits, but they gonna tap back into that mindset when that survival mode that they get knocked into, it ain't enough. And when selling it becomes extremely dangerous. Because it's gonna go from selling it to it being taken. So we gonna see just what happened after, when those signs come. But as for us, the men, we gonna continue to walk circumspectly, redeeming the time, because the days are evil. We know what time we living in, and we just sitting back chilling. We gonna let the Lord bring everything to us as it needs to go, as we see fit.
That's right.
You were just talking about SNAP benefits. Everything's starting to unfold like every day. More information come out. First it was just the food stamp, then it was Section 8. Yeah, they talking about like the child care.
Oh, they doing Section 8 with the food stamp too?
Yeah, all of them about to cut off.
Yeah, I think they already cooked child care.
No daycare, no.
In November it's getting cut off, Section 8?
Section 8 is supposed to be cut off at the end of this, almost about the end of this month.
And then like I saw something today. I did that live. He was streaming the video. So they get rid of the daycare and shit too.
Yeah. I said it earlier. Their whole way of living is about to get cut off.
That was bad for them too.
Because now daycares are gonna catch it because they can't get people. A lot of them are filled with Section 8 and people that on those vouchers.
Right.
They can't get those vouchers. They're gonna shut down.
Yeah, they're gonna everything finna shut down for them.
Right.
They had a good 50 years of run. They had a good 50 years. It started back in the early 70s. Early 70s.
They started going into like their family structure.
Yeah.
Like man, the men would go out there and do what they got to do, bring the money back home. The men was at home with the kids anyway, so you kept all the money in the household.
Right.
And then you can mess around and have a garden, some of all your food in the backyard.
Right.
And then you had to go to Esau for everything. But
Yeah.
now, they finna get broke down.
Yeah.
You finna have to go back to factory sentence.
The government gave our women back too and said, y'all can have them now.
No.
Now you used up, now you can stay on where you at.
It makes sense because I was listening, watching he was endure these last days. Like he the one that posted it.
Yeah.
She was basically how they rounded, they gonna be rounding up the homeless and sending them to look consecrate. They say humane institutions or whatever. I guess mental asylum, whatever they trying to send them to.
Yeah.
But she was saying, she was talking about women now have a choice to either get married, to join the military, or get sent to those mental hospitals. They say it's already in the
Legislation.
Yeah, it was already in it.
They're gonna go back to Isaiah 4:1 because they're gonna now call her old maid.
Old maid.
So that's that oppression coming down on them.
So when you were saying that they, cause I knew they were cutting off the Section 8, I just didn't know when. But that's why she made that video, cause I knew it was probably made it today or the day before.
Yeah.
That women now got the option either marriage, military, or mental asylum. Cause if they out here homeless and don't have nowhere to go with their children, well they gonna take them somewhere. You probably ain't gonna see them no more, but they gonna take them and they gonna separate them kids and take them somewhere else. So like you said, the Isaiah 4:1, women gonna start trying to tap in. Hey, a lot of women gonna be rejected.
I ain't taking no damn 3 kids.
It gonna be some women that don't have kids get rejected too.
Right.
A lot of these women, they gone.
Especially when they were headstrong and everything.
Right.
Yeah.
Ones that you don't even, there's gonna be some you don't know trying to come up to you.
Yeah, come on to you.
Like I said, they see who moving and how you move, and all of that. I said a man that work at McDonald's is gonna be high value. He got a job. It ain't how much you make. He got a job. He can provide something.
Ain't no government job, so he's straight.
Yeah.
Y'all brother got anything good?
Yeah, I had. I have. 2 Peter, chapter 3.
Want somebody read it for you?
2 Peter, chapter 3, and verse 9. The Lord is not slack concerning his promise, as some men count slackness, but it's long suffering to us, with not willing that any should perish, but that all should come to repentance. And that's, I was saying this, I said long suffering earlier, that made me think about it, but the Lord gave all these people, but like I said, he knew who was gonna get it and who wasn't gonna get it. He didn't give us all this time to get right. Like I said, going back to classroom and studying,
Right.
he gave us all this time to prepare, and people have been bullshitting the whole time. Now it's gonna be the time where, I say, it wasn't so that we would suffer, but so we can come to repentance. So he didn't gave, this is going into how just he is. He didn't gave people 2,000 years to get it right.
Right.
Hey, it's time to wrap it up. So
Right.
then they can get to being at peace, bro.
Right.
Man, brothers coming out with videos every day. I say I watched one today. I think with the brother in South Carolina. Like, man, people just look tired.
Right.
Go out.
He's talking about they were coming with that mark. I think they said it was I think the UK.
Yeah.
You know, like 1,000 more people that got it, and they were throwing like sea parties. I'm like, man, yeah, she was looking tired when in the video. He's like, man, yeah, everybody just tired. Everybody tired of getting up, going to work. Everybody tired of each other. He said, everybody ready for something different. It's almost time for something different.
When the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. When the righteous bear rule, the people rejoice. And Shalom Abaya, how about Shemel Shah Barakatah, he had said the military isn't a great choice right now for either for women, with them resorting back to the old ways. Right. You had the brothers making the videos off of women that was in the military. I guess it was somebody that was in the military telling her that she need to get out. And she talking about, well, why I need to get out? You know, why you won't get out?
Yeah, I seen.
Yeah, but she don't know what's coming.
Yeah.
You know, you got World War III coming, and that was your warning to go and get out.
You don't get on that.
Get you a dishonorable discharge.
Yeah.
Go snap back into learn how to be a woman. A woman and wife is synonymous. Woman means wife. Learn how to be a wife and pray that you find a man of the Lord
Right.
to be delivered. But these women, they ain't tapping into that mindset.
She said, why I got to get out? I'm getting my house paid for.
Right.
I'm getting this did, I'm getting that did.
No rent.
Getting no rent. So why I got to get out? I'm going to live this. Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
Days
okay.
coming that
Yeah.
you don't have all that.
Yeah.
That trickle down effect is happening now.
Yeah.
They starting at the bottom, you know,
Right.
because that's one reason why the National Guard is sending. I read this article earlier today. California is sending the National Guard out to all the food banks because they know that come next month when
Yeah.
stuff shut down, it's gonna be chaos there.
Yeah.
And the National Guard is not there. They there for a lot of, because you know a lot of these young, I ain't gonna say just YN, but there are these young Jakes, a lot of young Jakes and Eve. Because I heard one woman on video said, when y'all cut mine, you know, she was cussing y'all, I'm going to Walmart, I'm going to get a basket and I'm gonna take what I need to take. And y'all, I'm telling y'all now, I'm finna do it. You know,
When you putting the blade out in the hair,
Yeah.
they for them to be ready to fight.
and so.
They already anticipated.
Oh yeah, they know it's real. That's what the guards are there for.
That's what they want.
Yeah, they waiting on that time. You know, they say, well, they doing it for this and fight crime. That's the crime.
That's
You know,
crime.
people gonna go in there and raise sword riots in these stores to eat. You know, because you think about it, if they cut it off the first part of Thanksgiving, they probably gonna use what they can.
Yeah.
Then for this month they got.
Yeah.
They ain't selling, they ain't doing nothing, they buying the stock. But
Yeah.
come close to Thanksgiving, they can be out of food.
Yeah, they be out of food.
You know. So they're gonna be ready, they're gonna be hitting up places.
Right.
And don't say that. Don't get on social media making these type of accusations and you out of shape. You know, you gotta be ready. Because the woman that said it, you can look at her, she fat, she out of shape.
She was out of shape.
The mass majority of Americans over here don't work out, they out of shape. You know, after really, I say high school, after high school, everybody just started going down unless you keep yourself up. You know. Right.
I
Right.
seen one today, but I'm like, yeah, damn.
Somebody you knew?
Yeah, went to school.
Yeah, that's how they be. And you just making all these bold accusations, and you ain't nowhere near ready to run. You know, 'cause-
like you bad.
right? You talking like you gonna walk in the store and walk out, ain't nobody gonna touch you.
Yeah.
Like And then you gonna have other people in that same mindset. So just say you was to make it outside with a couple bags of groceries. Now you done made it outside from the initial chaos. Now you got chaos of people waiting outside for you.
Right.
Right.
I remember telling my wife and my sister-in-law, there's gonna come a time where people gonna be going to grocery stores and they're gonna be getting robbed. And they coming back and saying, you know, all that stuff you said. This was probably about 6 years ago when I said a lot of this stuff. And they saying, you know, you're right. We got to that point now. It's doctors will decide who lives and who dies and all of this. I'm like, yeah. I said, I told you this time was coming.
Then you go to the grocery store and have somebody reach you. Yeah.
Yeah.
They had a big old dude, Jake, was on Section 8, and he was getting food stamp. He said they cut my $900 off. He said, I'm going up in there, I'm gonna get, he probably like 6'2", about 300 pounds. I'm going up in the store, I'm gonna get my $900 worth of food. And you're gonna be the first one they cheat.
Right. Yeah, because they ain't buy all them coffins for nothing.
Hey, you're gonna be the first one they shoot down. They had a hairband around the head when you kind of wave that hairband. Hey man, they gonna be the first one kill you.
They're gonna be the first thing that fly off.
Hey.
Yeah, they're gonna make some examples starting now
Hey.
to deter the rest of you.
Hey.
Like Eve too, I think the Eve that said that, I think she was the one bragging about her weight. It might have been a different, but she like, yeah, I'm going up, come out, I'm 250 pounds. They better be out, they better get out my way, man. You your ass too.
Right.
Boy, your tail muscle.
Hey. They ain't gonna be struggling trying to fight with y'all.
See,
Right.
these movies them boosted these women minds of thinking that
They mean.
You think, well, yeah, they mean. You got all these movies where the woman, she might be the main character, and her, she might have a man with her, whether he her husband or not, and then you got the killer. But the killer come in fighting the man, he somehow getting advantage over the man. He killed the man,
Yeah.
but she wind up getting the weapon and kill the killer. Now
Right.
she the one at the end. They get to see the sunlight.
Right.
The man dead. And the killer dead, but she somehow
Survived.
Yeah, these women think because every movie damn near end like that. You know,
Yeah.
if the man don't survive, he sacrificed his life so she can survive. So
Yeah.
it ain't gonna be like that in this time.
Yeah.
You women are gonna be the most vulnerable. You know, I ain't talking about the sisters. I'm just saying women in general gonna be the most vulnerable. So you gonna be the ones being snatched up and harm gonna be coming to you more frequently because you are not set up to protect your own self. So that woman that's saying she 200 and some pounds, you can have a man that's about 190 run straight through you. You know,
Right.
because we're naturally stronger than you.
Right.
You know, just like the video they used to make. Somebody trying to play the hero.
Yeah.
Talking like you watch so many movies. Now you hype yourself up. Somebody that tried to rob him. He tried to like reach for the gun, turn around, and then they just everything behind him turned white. He's like, God dang.
You got me.
Brother just said, brother keep saying this, but yeah, they setting it up. Hey, and it's 2/3, but you know the women outnumber the men. But they setting it up. Everybody falling right into that snare. But they setting it up like that for a reason.
Right.
They setting it up for you to do that, so they can, like I say, y'all say that all the time, so they can justify themselves for what they do. So when they get ready to come with what they come with, they gonna have all this evidence stacked up against you while we doing it. This how y'all act. That's how y'all act.
First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai by Hashem, Kakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS that rule well. Peace, love, and salutations to all the brothers out there pushing this word of sincerity and truth. Shalom to the brothers, sisters, and children out there keeping this word of sincerity and the truth. We hope this lesson was edifying. Until next time, we say Kwam Yashala.
Kwam Yashala.
Baba Baba.
Baba Baba.
Shalom.
Shalom. People talk about, yeah, I'm gonna go up in there. They ain't sending my $900. I'm gonna go to Walmart. I'm gonna tell you right now.